What is the name of the person you hurt because you would not let go? Not a stranger. Not someone who deserved it. Someone who worked for you. Someone who trusted you. Someone whose name you have not spoken since the day you looked away. You have a homestead. Everyone who holds too tight has won. A person you should have seen. A cable that arrived too late because you were 3,000 miles away, not in distance but in attention. You were building. You were winning. And someone paid the price you refused to look at. You tell yourself it was not your fault. You say you did not know. But you were not there. That is the point. You chose not to be there. You chose the number over the names. And now you carry something heavier than money. You carry a silence where a name should be. In 1892, Andrew Carnegie's steel plant in Homestead went on strike. He was in Scotland at his castle when armed Pinkerton agents arrived and men died. Carnegie never forgot what happened. He carried it for the rest of his life. Not the news. The cable the men sent him. "Kind master, tell us what you wish." They were still asking him to lead, still trusting him to care. And he had nothing to tell them. His wish had already cost men he would never name. You have a cable too. A conversation you should have had. A person who needed you to see them. A team you walked past every day without learning their names. A child who stopped asking because you never answered the first time. The cable does not arrive all at once. It arrives in small moments you do not notice. The meeting you skipped. The dinner you were too tired for. The question you answered with silence. Each one was a cable. Each one was a chance to be there. Each one passed through your hands without you touching it. The money at the end does not make up for the absence along the way. You know that. The money is the excuse you used to hide. The absence is the debt. And debts do not disappear. They compound. Because hiding is easier than seeing. You have been hiding from the human cost of holding for years. The people you stepped over. The people you forgot. The people who carried your weight while you counted your gain. You told yourself generosity came later. First you had to win. What you will not admit is simpler. There is no later. There is only now. And the people you are not seeing right now, the ones who depend on you, work for you, wait for you, love you, they are not going to wait forever. They are already learning to live without you. They are already building walls where doors used to be. You think the wall is temporary. It is not. Walls become foundations. The person who needed you has already found someone else. The child who stopped asking has already learned not to expect. You are not absent from their lives. You are absent from their memory. That is the cost. Not anger. Erasure. Protecting yourself is not the same as protecting them. You tell yourself distance is leadership. That not getting involved keeps you objective. Carnegie believed that too. He was in Scotland. The men were dying in Pennsylvania. He was writing letters about expansion while his workers bled on the ground. Distance is not leadership. Distance is abandonment dressed in the clothes of strategy. The last time someone needed you and you were not there, not because you could not be, but because you chose not to be. You had a meeting, a number to hit. You told yourself they would understand. They did. That is what made it worse. They understood you had chosen something else, and they stopped asking. And you told yourself that meant they were fine. The cable arrives too late for everyone who holds too tight. Not because the message takes too long, because you waited until the damage was done before you looked up, and you are still holding the wire. Look in the mirror. Say the name out loud, alone, with no one watching. I hurt this person. I was not there. I chose something else over them. Do not explain it. Do not soften it. Say it the way it happened, plain, without an excuse attached. This is not about apologizing. Apologies are cheap. It is about seeing. About looking at the person you hurt and not looking away. Because the hiding costs more than the seeing ever will. Every year you spend not saying the name, you carry the weight of it in silence. And silence is the heaviest thing a person can hold. Carnegie learned this the hard way. He gave away 90%. Not because he was generous, because he was trying to outrun a cable that arrived too late. He built 2,800 libraries, not because the towns needed books, because he finally understood what the men at Homestead had been asking. They were not asking for orders. They were asking to be seen. He could not give them that. So he spent 30 years trying to give it to someone else. One library at a time. One town at a time. He never outran the cable. Kind master, tell us what you wish. He wished he had been there. He wished he had learned that holding too tight does not only break you, it breaks the people who trusted you. Presents cannot be replaced. He had all the money. He had none of the presents. And the men who trusted him paid the price for the thing money cannot buy back. You have been buying things to avoid buying presents. The trip, the gift, the check. None of them replaced the conversation you never had. What they needed was not a transaction. What they needed was you, just there. That is what Carnegie could not give the men at Homestead, himself, in the room. That is what you are not giving. You still have time. The person you hurt is still alive. The cable has not arrived yet. The question is whether you will answer it before it is too late. Carnegie could not go back to Homestead, but every library he built was an answer to the cable he never sent. You can still send yours, but the wire is fraying. The cable arrives too late for everyone who holds too tight. You are not too late, but you are close. Write down one name, not in your phone, on paper. The name of the person you hurt by holding too tight. The person you should have seen. The person who trusted you and learned not to. Do not send it. Do not call them. Not yet. Just write the name. Say it out loud. I hurt this person. I was not there. I chose something else over them. Then hold the paper in both hands. Look at the name for 60 seconds. Do not look away. Do not explain it away. Let it be heavy. Let it be real. Let it cost you something. The 60 seconds will feel longer than the 30 years. Because 30 years of hiding is numb. 60 seconds of seeing is alive. And alive hurts more than numb ever could. Carnegie carried a cable for 30 years. You can carry a name for 60 seconds. Notice what happens when you stop hiding from it. Not relief. Not resolution. Something quieter. The feeling of finally being honest about what you chose. That feeling is not punishment. That feeling is the beginning. You cannot give back what they lost, but you can stop pretending it did not cost them. That is where giving starts, not with money, not with libraries, but with the willingness to see the person in front of you before the cable arrives. You already know whose name it is. I give before I am asked. I give before I am asked. I give before I am asked.